This is Karen St. Hilaire, your resident life architect. I have been away for a while. Your purpose alchemist. I have been regrouping, repurposing, and just being still in the process of regrouping and repurposing, just being obedient to the universe's instructions. During COVID, I wanted to share so much. I wanted to impart so much because, I just felt like, if you're someone who speaks to people, speaks to their purpose and their passion, and so many people were in a space of, working hard and trying to repurpose their gifts and their purpose and their passion, then I should, speak to it. But every time I try, it was a glitch in the matrix. And at some point I had to be like, it's not your time. It's not your space. It is not your business. And so I sat still. But it is November. And what do we do in November? We read. That's another thing. I have not picked up The Alchemist in a while. A while meaning like 2 years. And I usually have it as an annual read. And so I'll be reading The Alchemist during this month of November. But on the first day, I wanted to share a video, not necessarily about chapters, but just more importantly about the book and why it's a November read. I tend to read the book during the month of November because I tend to start my goals and intentions during the month of November. You're going to hear a clicking sound. That's heat because it's November. My goals, my intentions, what I want done, my dreams and my desires, I actually start noting them down in November. I put them into place in December and hopefully start walking and working in it by January. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. But The Alchemist, every time I revisit that piece of work, every time I open that body of work and start reading, I get something else. I glean another bit of information that just speaks to me, that speaks to where I'm trying to go and what I'm trying to do. The book was written in 1993. I'm doing a little research this time. I've never done it this way. Paulo Coelho wrote the book in Brazil in 1993. And, he published it, the local, publishing house, and sold one copy in 6 months. Then he sold a second copy. I believe it's 8 months. I can have my glasses on, can't see. I believe it's 8 months. And then the publisher was like, and then the person that bought the first book bought the second book. Right. So the publisher was like, bruh, it's a no-go. So they dumped him, told him, take it away. He felt defeated because he was 40-something years old and he felt like the book was his life's purpose. That is what he was supposed to do. The opus, the body of work, everything that he did, he felt that he was purposed to write it. So there was no way he was going to give up on that project, i.e. getting it published, because he wrote it. He did everything he was supposed to do. Now he had to get it to the people. What does that mean to us, right? Let's think about it. As I'm sharing the background of Paulo, which I've never done, it's, there are times we feel that the work that we do or the work that we're called to do. And there are speed bumps that get in our way. Friends, family members, outside influences, they get in our way, not on purpose, not by design. Sometimes it just happens. But like Paulo, we have to then say, okay, this door has closed, this window has closed, this group of people are just, shady. I hate the word trash, but they're crazy. So let me move on. So he moved on, right? And he was able to get a publishing house in Brazil to republish his book. He sold like 10,000 copies. At that time, I don't know I don't know what the space of time was. Was it 6 months? Was it a year between the two? But this subsequent publishing house, he was able to get traction. And there was a tourist, a person from a publishing house that was visiting Brazil and read the book. The book was written in Spanish. They have a quadrillion translations of this book. So anyway, the guy was like, let me help you get this book published in America. I believe it was HarperCollins that was able to get him a publishing deal. And the alchemist was born as we know it, right? So purpose. Purpose requires you to have that grit, to have that gumption, to have that fortitude to just keep going, press against the wind, press against opposition, press against people who don't believe in you, press against just it being the wrong time. That you birthed this project, this baby in the wrong time. So the goals that you're writing in the month of December and of November, the intentions that you're laying out, some of it might be premature. Some of it you might not even be pregnant with it yet, but you just have, you have some foresight. You know it's coming. You know it's something that you're supposed to do. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen that way, you shouldn't beat yourself up. Just know that the time is going to come. At some point, you had to crack the egg, right? And you're doing it. It might not be time, but you're doing it. And doors will open. Windows will open. They will shut, but you'll get a glimpse of where it is that you're supposed to go when it is time for you to birth that project. Okay. So everyone gave up on Paolo. Everyone gave up on him. But he did not give up on himself, because it was his purpose to write that book, to share it with the people. The story of the alchemist was his story. It's a story of believing. It's a story of believing, right? It doesn't matter how you interpret what you infer from this book. It's a story of believing, and more importantly, believing in yourself. Believing in yourself. And he believed in himself. He took a chance on him. He took a chance on himself. Sometimes we don't take chances on ourselves. We take chances on everybody else, but not ourselves. So in the month of November, start taking chances on yourself. Dream big. Dream stupid. I said it, because sometimes what we think is stupid is stupid, but is what it's supposed to be. It is the thing, right? There's some goals that I have accomplished that weren't even on my list. And they're my is, right? And I'll share that as we go along in the month and in the book. And I remember I said to someone, that would have been stupid if I wrote that down. And they said, but it is. It's here. It's come to fruition, right? It was never a goal. So there are times that you have to just dive deep. This dude, when we get through these chapters, I mean, you've read the book, but when we get through these chapters, you'll see sometimes you got to dive deep and you got to be dumb. You have to be creative. You have to be open. You have to be apprehensive. You have to be intentional. And more importantly, you have to believe in yourself. So the prologue, because next video is going to be right going into the chapters, in the prologue of the book, they're talking about Narcissus, and Narcissus going to the lake, and he's such a narcissistic fool that he drowns because he just admires his beauty so much he topples over in the lake. And then the tree comes over to the lake, and the lake is crying, and the tree is like, oh, Narcissus, we always wanted him to love us in the forest. We always wanted him to admire us like he admired you. And you cry for him because he's died. And the lake said, huh? I'm not crying for him because he died. I'm crying because every time he stood at the lake and stared at himself, I saw the reflection of my beauty. I saw the reflection of my beauty in him. It's all perception. The tree is thinking the lake is crying for the dude. The lake is like, nuh-uh. I'm crying because I don't see myself anymore. I saw myself in his eyes. Narcissus never saw the lake. Narcissus saw his reflection in the lake. Perception is different for everyone. Those in it, those doing the act, those standing on the side. Perception for you during the month of November is just yours. What we're working on, what we're going to be talking about with reading this book and sharing, goal writing tips and intentional tips, it's not for you to share with the world. It's not for you to get acceptance from the general public. It's not for you to glean with or discuss with the tribe so that they can co-sign. Sometimes you just got to dream in your own space, and you got to be dumb about it. Okay, go for it. Grab it by the neck and just keep going, because once you start activating these goals and dreams and desires and intentions into the universe, then the pieces on the chessboard start moving, and they start moving in your favor, and then you are ready to start making moves, because the moves are going to be made regardless of whether or not you're open to it. So we're reading The Alchemist this month by Paulo Coelho. Get your copy, get your ebook, get your audiobook, get whatever you want, and let's read together. This is Karen St. Hilaire, your resident life architect and purpose alchemist, and I'm out.